Hello again, my fellow pilots and my fellow aircraft maintenance personnel. Your host is always Haitham Ali, and I'm an aviation technical instructor. Welcome to my aviation nuggets for today. Today, in these short minutes, we will talk about some important aviation terminology that always we have in study of our gas turbine engine. In study of our gas turbine engine of the aircraft. We always hear dry-sump engine or wet-sump engine. What is the difference between dry-sump and wet-sump? We always hear that the gas turbine engine have two ignition or two igniters. We have dual ignition system. Why we have dual ignition system into our engine? And we always hear dual-spool gas turbine engine. What is meant by dual-spool or triple-spool or single-spool? Okay, let's start our first question. What is the difference between dry-sump and wet-sump engine? We always hear that the oil lubrication system may be in some engines dry-sump and other wet-sump. For example, most of the gas turbine engine is a dry-sump lubrication system. And into the APU or auxiliary power unit, we have a wet sump. We have a wet sump. What is the difference? Here you can see that dry sump engine meaning an engine that carry its lubricating oil supply in a tank external to the engine. Okay, so the oil after lubricating, after engine operating and after engine shutdown, the oil going back to the oil tank. The oil will go back to the oil tank and it is called a dry sump engine. But for the APU, for example, we don't have oil tank. The accessory gearbox is normally the oil tank. So the oil are located always into the gears of the accessory gearbox. So it is a wet sump. It is a wet sump oil lubrication system. But most of the gas turbine engine having a dry sump lubrication system. This is because the engine carry an oil tank and the oil is contained in an oil tank. The oil is contained in the oil tank. Okay, why most of the engines have a dual ignition, igniter A or igniter B? If we need to start the engine automatically, the controller may select one igniter. And if we will start the engine manually, both igniters come in. Both igniters come in. Why in the manual start we need both igniter, and why in the automatic start we always have just one igniter, and why most of the engine has dual ignition system? Here you can find the answer, everybody. Dual ignition are the ignition system mostly located in the reciprocating engine and in the gas turbine engine. So it is an ignition system of an aircraft, reciprocating engine or a gas turbine engine, it doesn't matter, that has two of every critical unit, including two spark plugs, two ignition leads, and two igniters. Okay, we have dual ignition provide safety in the event of one system malfunction, so that if one igniter fail or one ignition box fail, we still have another igniter, so it is for redundancy. But more important, igniting the fuel air mixture inside the cylinder or inside the combustion chamber at two locations. This is the most important answer to why we do have dual ignition, because we need to ignite the fuel to air mixture at different location, not just one location. This is why this will provide more efficient combustion of the fuel air mixture in the cylinder or in the combustion chamber of the gas turbine engine. So again, my fellow pilots and my fellow aircraft maintenance personnel, most of the gas turbine engine or reciprocating engine do have dual ignition. Why we have dual ignition system in the gas turbine engine or reciprocating engine? This is for safety and redundancy. Just in case of one ignition system fail, the other will take part and allow the engine not to be flame out. Okay. Or if needed, ignition system are available. This is the first answer for redundancy. And the second answer, we have two location provide more efficient combustion of the fuel air mixture in the cylinder of the reciprocating engine or in the combustion chamber. So again, but more important, igniting the fuel air mixture inside the cylinder or inside the combustion chamber at two locations provides more efficient combustion of the fuel air mixture in the cylinder. Okay. Finally, we will speak about dual-spool gas turbine engine. Most of the engine nowadays are dual spool, some other engine are triple spool. The meaning of dual spool, meaning that the engine will have two rotors. Okay, dual spool or two rotors. Okay, a low pressure rotor and a high pressure rotor. Low pressure rotor and a high pressure rotor. The high pressure rotor is a governor rotor. If you increase fuel, the speed of the high pressure rotor will increase, but the low pressure rotor is a non-governor rotor. So dual spool gas turbine engine, it is an axial flow turbine engine that has two compressors because we have two rotors, a low pressure rotor and high pressure rotor, low pressure compressor and high pressure compressor. This is to prevent or reduce the surge and stall problem. Each compressor driven by its own stage or stages of a turbine. So we do have a high pressure turbine on the high pressure rotor and low pressure turbine on the low pressure rotor. So this engine is composed of two independent rotor, a low pressure one and a high pressure one. The low pressure rotor mostly composed of a fan, a booster compressor, all driven by the low pressure turbine, and its speed is indicated on ECAM as N1. And it is a non-governed rotor. And the high pressure rotor composed of the high pressure compressor driven by the high pressure turbine in the engine. Okay, so this is the meaning of a dual spool gas turbine engine. So my fellow pilots and my fellow aircraft maintenance personnel, in these short minutes we discuss the difference between dry sump engine and a wet sump engine, and we understand now that a dry sump engine is the engine that do have an external tank for the oil system. Oil will not be located into the sump or gear compartment. It will return back to the tank, oil tank. Okay. Why also, we also understand now and know why most of the engines have dual ignition system. We said that this is for safety and for redundancy, and for more important, we need to ignite the fuel air mixture at different location inside the cylinder of the reciprocating engine or the combustion chamber of the gas turbine engine Thank you always for your good listening, and always fly safely and maintain your aircraft very safely. Your host was Haitham Ali. Please don't forget to subscribe to my Aviation Nuggets on YouTube. This is a performance support tool that you can know some valuable information regarding aircraft systems. Thank you, have a good day, and I will meet you again so soon. Bye-bye.